Hello friends, welcome back to Night Court Narrative. I am Elvish. If you are new here, hi, hello. Today we are discussing The Surrogate Mother from Frida McFadden. I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is only my second video on Frida McFadden on my podcast. However, I am currently about to start book 14. I am trying to do this whole thing where I read every single book by Frida McFadden, and it's been a wild ride. And let me tell you, this book in particular, I was messaging one of my friends and I gave her the entire play-by-play as I was reading, because I was like, I cannot keep my emotions intact here. I need help. Please bear the fuck with me. And it got to the point where I told her absolutely everything, to where I feel like she could have put this on her 2025 reading list and could have actually answered any question about it. It was quite hilarious. But we have The Surrogate Mother. This book was very, very interesting. The female main character, in my personal opinion, it was so incredibly fucking selfish. She can't have kids, so they did attempt to have a surrogate, but of course the surrogate did back out last minute. So the husband is tired of waiting and practically begs multiple times just to skip the baby phase and to adopt a toddler. She of course ends up throwing a massive temper tantrum and starts convincing her best friend of only like 6 months, mind you, and this is also her personal assistant, red flag right there, to have their baby. But he does come forward again and says that he is fully uncomfortable with the thought of knocking up a different woman that isn't his wife. And as I mentioned, yet again, there is another temper tantrum. She starts crying, making a big scene on how he never wants her to be happy and blah, blah, blah. So, of course, he's like, fine, fuck it, whatever. Let's just fucking do it. So, they end up getting the assistant pregnant. And, just that alone right there really, really set me off, because I understand it's just a book. I get it. This is only the beginning, by the way. I understand it's just a book, but the amount of selfishness that I find in relationships is so absolutely disgusting. Because, you have your husband of 8 years telling you that he is uncomfortable with this situation. He wants a child just as much as you do. And he is quite literally telling you he does not want to go through with this. And you're over here quite literally twisting his arm, forcing it. I don't like that. 10 out of 10. Female main character already showing red flags. Don't like it. Next. But then, then to add on to this, it's their 8-year wedding anniversary. He literally comes up to her and says, "I'm glad we're married." And she responds with, "Good to know." Bitch. And so they end up going out to dinner. Oh, I'm already getting heated. This book pissed me off so much. This book was really good though. I thoroughly really enjoyed it. I mean, I was so invested the entire time, and it pissed me off, yeah, but it pissed me off to the point where I continued to read it and I was very interested in what happened next. So we're fine. So I'm basically just venting to you. But they ended up going out to dinner for their wedding anniversary. They magically run into the pregnant assistant, obviously, and offer to give her a ride home. Mind you, this is like both of their ideas to give her a ride home. This bitch literally calls fucking shotgun. Doesn't even say shotgun. She just calls shotgun, forces the wife to sit in the back. Tell me why the husband actually fucking allowed it. I'm sorry, and maybe this is such an unpopular opinion, but I don't care if you're holding my baby. Sit in the fucking back. Goodbye. And then they end up, oh my god, planning a dinner for all three of them. The wife couldn't make it due to work, so she arrives home incredibly fucking late. The surrogate and the husband are in the living room. Mind you, the wife has said against like multiple times that she does not like the husband eating in the living room. I guess she likes to keep it cleaner, whatnot. I personally don't agree with that. Eat in the living room if you want. I don't care. But they're literally in the living room eating dinner. He is flat out drunk. She's now calling him Sammy, which is like a nickname, I guess, rather than his actual name. He didn't even get up to get his wife a plate, and then proceeds to show him like a video of the heartbeat and says, "This is our baby," in front of the wife. Like, bombastic side eye. And then proceeds to say, "Oh, Sammy, I'll text you." Bitch, no the fuck you're not gonna text my husband. The fuck? And then wakes up the next day whistling. Like, what reason does this man have to be that happy? Why is he whistling? Why is he whistling? And then, like, I understand at this point, in my thought process, I mean, I obviously have read the book, so I know the outcome. But in my thought process at this point, I obviously know that the surrogate is sabotaging the wife's work. Being her assistant, she has capability of moving her meetings around, changing her schedule, doing all that. So she has quite literally gone into the wife's calendar, has moved important dates, like important meetings to the wrong day, important deadlines to the wrong day. She has even intentionally moved doctor visits to wrong times so that whenever she does go to the doctor, the surrogate and the husband are alone, which, mind you, the surrogate is now telling everyone that the wife's husband, like the male main character, is her husband. I would have killed her. I would have actually, like, I even said in my messages to my friend when I was talking to it, I literally said, and I quote, "I'm coming to the conclusion that I might be toxic because if I were this woman and then I have a picture of John Wick or like a gif of John Wick loading his gun." Like, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like, the heat. And then he even declines, brown chicken, brown cow time. He stops hugging her and then stopped holding her hand, but then immediately goes and hugs the other bitch and starts feeling on her stomach. Mind you, she's the wife's assistant, as I've said multiple times. Like, I literally want to smack this bitch. And then the assistant, aka surrogate, ends up getting her fired. She's been spiking her drink with narcotics for literally the past however long, and there is a surprise drug test. Of course, she fails with fucking flying colors because she has drugs in her system, so she ends up losing her job, which then makes her husband spiral out of fucking control. And finally, the boss, like, she's a massive raging cunt. The boss ends up, I guess, taking the assistant on as her own, finds out that the assistant is now going through her shit, so she ends up calling the wife. I don't even know the wife's name, I'm not gonna lie, so I'm just gonna call her the wife. She ends up calling the wife and she's like, "Okay, I may have been in the wrong. I think you're right. Come meet me at XYZ. We're gonna discuss it." The wife gets there. The boss is dead. Like, hello? So then, I'm like, bro, this bitch is fucking psychotic. Okay, fast forward to the very, very end. I don't give a fuck. Apparently, the surrogate is just a massive fucking psychopath. She used to be in the husband's class, like, God knows when, like a few years ago, and could have sworn that the professor was madly in love with her, when of course he really wasn't. Like, she was the type of person that it didn't matter how many kids were in that class. If he, like, even looked at her just one time, just making eye contact, as most teachers or people in a speaking position do. They look around, they make eye contact with people, it's like the proper thing to do. She's the type of person that as soon as he makes eye contact, they're in love, they're getting married, they're having babies, whatever. And long behold, she does end up years later having his baby. So she ends up, we find out that the little old lady is actually the sweet little old lady is actually her mom, which was insane plot twist. And then, you know, the surrogate ends up shooting and killing her mom, and then ends up turning the gun on herself and becomes a vegetable. But the baby is good, so I guess that's fine. Honestly, this was such a good book. I really, really enjoyed it. I do think I want to actually look. I want to look to see. I want to see. I think I gave it a 4-star. I gave it a 4.5-star. Oh, no, I didn't. I gave it a full ass 5-star. Okay, I gave it a 5-star. I will eat my words. I did give it a 5-star. I really, really enjoyed this. I really did like it. I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm noticing that every female main character that Frida ever writes is dumber than a brick of rocks or a bag of rocks, and then also has a survival instinct of a fucking fart. So they're kind of not really relatable, and I'm kind of getting tired of every one of her female main characters having the exact same characteristics and exact same personality. But it really was not that bad. I actually thoroughly really enjoyed it. And I do think I ended up giving this book a 5-star because of how interested and how entertained I was. It got to the point where, you know, it was a page turner. You know, every single time something happens, okay, I need to find the solution. I keep reading. 5 chapters later, something else happens. I need to find the solution. And at that point, the book was done in under 3 hours. It was such a phenomenal read, and I did quite enjoy it completely. I don't understand too that the husband did give the wife the cold shoulder the entire time. I understand that, you know, he thought she was a drug addict that was losing her mind, but you literally choose a random fucking woman. I understand she's like pregnant with your child, but you're choosing a random fucking woman over your own wife. Yuck. But yeah, I mean, the twist wasn't like 1000% the best. I have read better twists, but it is definitely not something I saw coming, so I honestly can't be too mad. I really, really love this book. It was really good. I'm just glad once the husband found out everything happening, he did come to his senses and realize that he was being like a true dumbass. But I don't know. I think the amount of anger I had in this book really fueled my anticipation for finishing it, because it was truly a one-of-a-kind book. And judging by my other books, because I did end up reading The Coworker by her, I gave it a 1-star. If I read the word turtles one more fucking time, I might actually legitimately die. I did read The Locked Door. I want to say The Locked Door was maybe a 3 or 4-star rating. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. And then I think I read... Let me just go to my Goodreads. I'm on Goodreads right now. It wasn't the best, but either way, I've spent this week, I've read 4 Frida McFadden books to kind of get caught up with everything. And I read The Intruder. That one was a 4-star rating. The Intruder was a 4-star rating. Death Row was a 1-star rating. The Locked Door was a 2.5-star rating. And The Coworker, yeah. So, with this also being one of the best books that I've read from her in quite some time, I think the last one that I gave a 5-star, me personally, was The Boyfriend, and before that was The Crash, which is such an unpopular opinion. But to be honest with you, I don't have a lot of 5-stars when it comes to Frida. So most of my fuck me. Holy fuck, oh my god, what is happening? Most of my ratings for her is like a 3.5 to a 4.5-star rating. Holy fuck, I just had the worst stroke ever. Oh my god, I need to go lie down. That was horrible. Um, so I think whenever I do get books this good, I do like to hold on to it a little bit more, but I'm hoping the other books are good. I still have yet to read the Housemaid series, and I have yet to read a few others that everyone swears is amazing. But by the time this is all said and done, I am going to have a very long video of me rating and deciding which the best Frida McFadden books are, and the if you should read yes no maybe type thing, you know, like all the TikTok trends in one video basically. That one is coming once I do finish all of them. I'm getting there, I'm almost done, but until then, that's all I have for you today. I do really suggest this book. I know I kind of told you everything in it, but I really do suggest it. I don't think, you know, as I've said multiple times, I really don't think this book is anything extravagant. I don't think there's a lot of complexity to the storyline. I also don't think that there is a lot of character growth amongst anyone. I do think, though, the plot twist between, you know, how the surrogate acts around everyone versus how she acts at the ending when we do find out that she is a psychopath, it is very nice, but nothing really life changing. But if you want a very quick read and a very like addictive book, definitely pick this up. But just know that if you're anything like me, it'll piss you off so much. But yeah, that's all I have today. I hope that you guys have a very wonderful night, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.